Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to KliqThisTV.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussions.
Word of the day, Kevin? What's the word of the day?
Is it bollard?
It's bollards. I learned a word. It's not very often when I get to learn.
No, it's
a word.
bollard, isn't it? It's not bollocks.
No, but many of them would be bollards, wouldn't it be? You need a lot of bollards on that street there.
Yeah.
I've seen them my entire life. I don't think I ever knew what they were called. 52 years on this planet. If anyone doesn't know what the hell we're talking about, on Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. He's Kevin, I'm Sean. Those stanchions that stand shorter than a person.
They're usually probably, I say 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah, it's, in some girth. You know, girth is important.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason for those. Have you ever been on Instagram? They have They have these CGI things where they have one of those in the middle of the road, and the car hits it at 5 miles an hour, and then it hits it at 20, and then 50, and it's like, you know, eventually
crash test dummy type footage, like
but it's like it's insane. Like they hit it at like 400 miles an hour and with a semi, and you know what it does. And so, but no, when I was over in the service, those, because they're so much easier to have those than it is to have the giant cement, you know, half walls that
those barricade type things.
Yeah, those were around. Those were around the Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
I saw. You know, they were.
The model for the bollard was first drawn. Somebody saw Virgil had passed out on Bourbon Street, laying down, and got aroused. And somebody said, "Hey, you know what? No car is going to get down this block as long as Virgil's there." And the rest is history.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. And his schlong. Big night tonight. If everyone's listening on Monday, as most of you do, or watching, Raw on Netflix tonight. All the buzz has led to this. I think this is going to do incredible numbers, I think, just because of the anticipation, the press. Matches have been announced. You're going to watch, obviously, right? I'm going to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me see. We can get some matches here, up to date as we are when we're shooting this. Becky Lynch. What do I see?
What was the last time she worked?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
The Rock, and more potential surprises. The Punk Rollins, which was, I guess, supposed to headline WrestleMania last year, before the injury, before Punk's shoulder. So they'll headline tonight. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. John Cena actually kicking off the retirement tour also. I'm just curious if they can do anything, not affect the product, not affect the in-ring product, but could they do anything production-wise to draw a distinction between the Raws we'd seen before?
I don't think, you know, and it's funny you lay that question out because Christmas Day when I was watching the Chiefs game, the Chiefs game was getting ready to kick off. I sat there and I don't know what the hell I thought was going to happen. The Chiefs were going to come, like in on a flying saucer, but it was just like, it's still just NFL football. It's still just the WWE. It's just the platform that we're watching. It's just being streamed
I know.
on Netflix. There's no difference.
Why do I feel like there will be, though? You're right. It's like Monday Night Football isn't on ABC anymore. It's on ESPN or whatever the first change was.
It is.
Whatever the first change
Yeah,
was.
it's still on. The first, I think it was the first change was on ESPN, and then ABC. It's on both now.
Or was it Sunday night? When one of the nights changed, and it was significant because after however many years it's going to, but it was still an NFL game. Yeah, there's only so many ways you can cover football, but wrestling you can get somewhat creative with because
I think
the
only thing that that you can do is because there's no censorship.
No censorship, no time limit.
Yeah, no time limits. You can get away with more things that way, but I think that the WWE and Paul, I think that they found a pretty good sweet spot right now.
As far as the edginess and the,
I think they're just going to stay where they're at. I don't think there's like, why change anything?
What's The Rock going to do? They teasing The Rock.
I just think that because because it's streaming, because it is something different, I think that you have to have somebody that has. Well, The Rock has been on Netflix films before that that Netflix has put out, Red Notice and several others. So I think you've got to have him for that crossover. I think Cena is that crossover. So I think that bringing those you're going to bring more eyes because people that do watch there's probably a ton of people that haven't watched the WWE product in a long time because they really don't know where it's at or anything else. But if you watch Netflix, like most people do, they've seen the pop-up ads and the screensavers. And I mean, if you don't know that this thing's coming on tonight, you're probably too busy watching Carry On.
Is the big 4 stars from Kevin for the Jason Bateman film? Do you think The Rock will be competing in WrestleMania? Because this would be the time to start to lead up to it, right?
He stays in such good shape now. It's not like he's. Have you seen any of the clips of him? So the cartoon just came out that he voices.
Moana,
Moana, the animated film. I call it a cartoon because I'm fucking 65. The animated film, but now there's a live action that's coming out, and he plays the character, and he's in like a suit, like a big. Steve, can you find a picture of him? I saw it on Instagram. I popped, man. There's very few times in my life that I see something and I go, oh man, like that's way better than I thought it was going to be. And so he's playing the character, and then it's his daughter, the little girl. She's so tiny compared to him in the live. No luck there, Steve-O? Not finding anything official. We'll just pull something up, man.
AI some shit, even if
I'm like Jack on fucking Titanic, man. Throw me a door. Nah, that ain't it. Let me see if I can pull out Dwayne's thing.
That's her. That's her, right? But anyway, I ask you this because this would be the time, and all the eyeballs are going to be on the premiere, more so than any of the other future weeks, just because of the curiosity tune in that you're going to get. People getting caught up in the excitement in the press. Even if nothing's different about the product, you're going to see a good number. And this would be the time to do something. Now I'm seeing our dutiful crew is telling me that the Mania plan is Cena and Punk, Rock and Cody. Is he wearing a suit there? Who is that?
Yeah, that's.
It looks like Jimmy Snuka going to a Halloween party as what's that character's name?
Jimmy Snuka.
Looks
like Jimmy Snuka going to a Halloween party as Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Snuka.
If Jimmy Snuka and Don Morocco had a baby.
In more recent years, going as Jimmy Snuka 1982, maybe.
I'm not sure that's. Last time I saw Dwayne, he was big as a house. I don't know if he's just got a. Man, I think he might just have a wig on.
I don't know, man. That's different. The body's a different color. Right?
No, his abs. That's not his ab. His obliques don't look like that.
Why would Rock want to do this again? Last year was great as a one-off. It worked well. He obviously had a lot of control of what was going on. It felt very old school. Why do this again? You're 50. How much does he make a movie? 20 million? Like,
yeah, but what was his stock cut when he came in?
Well, last year for the board, you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, why would he want to get in the ring again?
Because it equates to the overall success of WrestleMania.
The bump in the gate or whatever.
Dude, if you have $800 million and you're still working his schedule,
does he love it? He loves it.
Yeah,
wrestling. I'm talking.
I think he's one of those people that loves to work.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that, but to put your body at risk, I'm saying, why?
But you're going to work against Cody. Cody's not going to hurt you.
Anything you could trip on the apron.
You're not going to
slip.
No.
What am I seeing here? I don't
see it being a high impact. Like a high impact. He worked with Cody already, and it's like, I think. Not right now because I'm beat to shit, but if I was 2 years younger and I was healthy, I know that Cody could drag my ass through there and I'd come home in one piece.
Sure, but you'd never do it.
No.
Right.
I fucking
more so if you were.
I do a close grip row with 230 pounds. I tear my rotator cuff and my bicep tendon. So,
and you'd be.
And I train so damn slow now. I guess I've just got to really. I've just got to do way more stretching, way more warming up this next round.
You're just getting back after the surgery. You can't use the same barometer of how you used to work out when you didn't have a bicep sewn back into the goddamn bone.
The other ones are. There's nothing that I had done that I haven't had done before.
The extent of that specific
I tore on my right side. I tore my in one movement in a reverse. Bent over row, I tore my supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major, teres minor, long head bicep. all four tore them fucking full tears.
You were a younger man.
Huh?
You were a younger man.
But I mean, it just...
Not that it's ever fun to pull your major and minor
that much
key.
younger.
Or
It
whatever
was
the hell
only
you were saying.
only fucking 4 years ago. And now it's...
Oh,
you know,
really? I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was a ring injury.
No, fuck. I said I was in the ring doing bent rows.
I thought you said rear chin lock. Excuse me. Excuse me, Mr. Briscoe. So we'll tune in tonight. We'll have coverage for you next week.
I can't do that. We can't do that. That's...
What?
I can't act like it's fucking Monday night.
You did it all the time when you stood up and said, tomorrow night in Dayton, Ohio. It's 6 weeks before the event.
Yeah, but this is our show. This is fucking Thursday night.
It's all a work. This is a work. It's all a work.
No, it's not a work. This is just our show. I don't want to have to, because then you step on your dick 6 times after that saying, so what'd you do last night?
Travis didn't step on his dick, but he was listening last week, and he said, at the gym, listening to the Klig This podcast, I'm a week behind, so I'm just now hearing about Nash draining his hog in an airplane bathroom sink. Doing overhead tricep extensions, nearly dropped it on my head. I was laughing so hard.
I'm sorry.
Glad you're not wounded, Travis. Tiffany Marie said, my New Year's resolution is to watch more old school wrestling. 80s and 90s. Happy New Year, fellas. Happy New Year, Tiffany Marie.
Happy New Year.
You can grab some of that.
Let me ask you a question on this whole New Year thing.
Yes.
I don't get it. Never gotten it in my whole life. The only significance to January the 1st is when you write a check,
You're going to fuck up the year for
instead
about a
of
week
24, you got to put 25. That's the only difference. There's no fucking difference whatsoever. To go a million strong to fucking have confetti and watch a bunch of people lip sync, I don't get it.
No, I don't get that aspect of it either. But I guess the significance is in the reflection that you do. The changing of the calendar is just the turning of a page, and tomorrow is very much like yesterday. But as we all get a year older together on the planet, and the calendar does change, I think there's some reflection that happens for some people. I'm not a big fan either, but
I think as you get older, I think that all it does is fuck me up because like the banks are closed and shit's closed. So then I reset because to me it's Sunday. So I reset and then I get up today and it's not Monday.
You got
like, what the fuck? Like it's like, so there's football games on Wednesday and they're college games? Like what?
Yeah.
Like it throws me. I can't do it.
I did do the Sunday thing a little bit all day yesterday.
It was Sunday, and Tamara's from the South, so we do the black eyed peas,
Love that group.
collard greens, cornbread. Like I guess it's for prosperity, whatever.
Does she cooks it all?
Yeah, she cooks it all, and then we just made. We had some salmon with it.
And her mother comes down, obviously. Right?
Got to get your protein. No, it's just me and Tam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you ever do that thing? Did you ever go out to
Never.
One of those restaurants when they do the...
Never.
Okay.
If we went out to eat, we were home by 10.
Yeah, it's amateur night.
Oh.
I always consider it a terrible night to be out there.
It's so, yeah, that's one of those things where... And they start the roadblocks at around 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to me, I don't want to get a DUI. I don't drink now, so which is really a weird feeling. when you like a mentality. Like I leave here at night and I go anywhere I go. It's like I went out to eat the other night and everybody was drinking except me.
Mm-hmm. How long is it for you now, Kevin?
The 8th will be 11 months.
It'll be a year in February.
Yeah, February will be a year.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything. I'm still beat. Physically, I had a worse year.
Listen, throwing alcohol into your stomach, into your system, is never good. I always hear the argument, well, red wine's different. It's still alcohol. It's not better. Maybe if you had to do some kind of chemical extraction, you could tell me that whiskey's more detrimental than a glass of wine. But fine. It's still alcohol. And the repeated putting of that alcohol into your body and your system, you live very cleanly, other than when you used to drink wine. So you know.
Yeah,
You must
no,
feel better.
I mean, I feel better. My blood works way better.
I think they call it California sober, right? When it's only THC.
And I really haven't, since I've gotten hurt, I haven't touched THC.
Why? Is there some correlation?
Yeah, because you never know when you get a buzz. Like sometimes you go someplace with your mind, and it's next thing you know, something's throbbing, and
oh, you think it'll mess you up?
oh, I know.
Psychologically.
I smoked the fucking honey blunt when I got my knee replacement, and I thought it would take that pain away, and I was like, shit. All it did was make me fucking super stoned with the fucking leg that was like killing me. And then it throws you off because it's just like, where did I put the walker? Because at that point I was already off the walker, and I'm like, I don't want to get up stoned with this fucking gimp knee. I was just like, oh, bad call. So
I think if you did a half a gum, a via, maybe one via, was it 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams? You're all right.
Yeah, but I don't want to take the.
You would have enjoyed.
So one thing.
Off.
It's the one
What
thing
is it,
about carry on.
Carry on.
It's the one thing. Shit, man, I could have fucking sat for a month and smoked with Willie Nelson, Snoop, and fucking Bob Marley 1 for 1 and not enjoy that fucking movie. I think it was rotten.
The Bob Dylan movie was very good. I saw that over the holiday break. I'm calling it the Bob Dylan movie. I think it's called like A Complete Unknown, or A Complete Unknown, with Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan.
I watched last night on CNN the Luther Vandross story.
What was the deal with his constant weight fluctuations? Was it just a vanity thing, or was he sick?
No, he was diabetic, but I mean,
okay,
he was. That was his deal. Was his coping mechanism was food.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Couric, there was a part, and she's talking to him, and she looks like fucking. She's waiting for Burgess Meredith to cut her. Her eyes are like this. Cut me, Mick. She looks at me. She goes,
I heard that at one time you couldn't find buns, so you put a hamburger between 2 glazed donuts. That had to be absolutely horrifying.
He looked at her. He goes, "That was fucking amazing."
I was going to say, I'm salivating just from you saying it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But it became his. He lost like 120 pounds, and then he put like 90 of it back, and he just fluctuated back and forth.
What a voice, though. I mean, he was one of those guys, so identifiable. You know him the second he opens his mouth.
It was
part of the true talent.
It was so funny because he was a huge Razor Ramon fan, and
really?
he came several times to the Garden, but the last time he came was, I'm pretty sure it was the curtain call night.
Oh, that's so cool.
and he was backstage, and Scott had that purple Razor Ramon shirt. So Luther had one on, and so I put one on. It was either the yellow one or the purple one, but I wanted to think they were purple. I was looking for the picture last night. Tamara and I were looking for the picture because I was going to get Steve to put it up. But so Vince was in there, and he was, because we were in his office, and Scott said, "Hold one up, Vince." So Vince just like, well, I didn't even think, it just held like Scott's shirt up to him, and they took the picture, and then we went out and did the curtain calls.
And shit on the goddamn business. You let everyone know it's not real. Did anyone confuse when he put the purple shirt on, Luther? Did anyone think that it was Mabel? That was going to be
No, because he was stealth. He was lean, and Luther.
Yeah, this was the lean years.
Don't want nobody.
You have to find that photo. That I would just personally love to see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we tried last night.
Chris Connell was listening and said, "Serious question: Is AEW profitable? What do they actually own other than footage, rings, contracts, and championship belts? The tape library is probably worth the most, but I'm not sure how you quantify that footage." Well, the biggest line item is going to be the TV contract.
Right.
So, their deal for Max and that whole quadruple.
I would
Discovery
love to see what their contracts. I'd love to see what they spend, because they keep running those big ass buildings, which aren't cheap, and then there's nobody in them, so there's no cost offset on running a 16,000 seat building.
Forget offset. There's nothing to take home after.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, so it's just I don't know. You keep digging that. They keep digging that hole, and the next thing you know, if I could be like, they'll be running the fucking Grand Canyon.
Report I have here says AEW's net revenue for 2023 was projected to be around 154 million, up from 100 million in 24. However, total expenses were estimated at approximately 188 million, resulting in a loss of 34 million before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Wow, those are fucking WCW numbers.
Yeah.
Without the Turner Home Entertainment taking their 50% fucking cut.
That's before taxes too. Good God. Well, I'm not surprised at any of those numbers, though. So
$85 million a year on talent.
Does that count travel and?
No.
Do they pay for any of their travel, or is this still on the 1099 employee to do this? Hotels are still on the wrestlers?
Yeah. No.
What?
When I went to Turner, I never paid for anything ever except my food.
But so now it's covered still?
Well, if they're smart enough to I don't see why you would go backwards with deals.
Well, because look what happened to WCW. I think I would have probably not paid for your hotel room, Kevin. If I was giving you $1 million a year.
Well, I wouldn't have came. The upside was fucking, that was the whole thing. But WCW always, from the conception when I worked there as Oz, they paid for your room. They paid for your rental car. You used to have to have 3 guys in a rental car.
And
they've always paid for our flights.
What about TNA?
I drove there, but if it was someplace where it was on the road, they picked up my rental car. I was 68 miles from the Universal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was, maybe 78. And I drove there, and then I would stay at the DoubleTree to work the next, because I wasn't driving all the way back and then back and back, So one week I would stay Sunday night, Monday night. The next one I would just stay Monday night.
What about out-of-state travel?
They paid for everything.
Okay. Thomas Daddio said the video game contract. Remember, games make exponentially more profit than the movie industry. The NJPW deal and obviously the investment of stocks in other places are probably a factor. Forbes can never be trusted, though. I really don't think UFC is worth as much as everyone says either. I don't know the video game deal.
I don't know the video game deal. I know that the one, it's like Rockstar. Once you get the engine built, it's all profit for the company.
Right.
And they're not going to give you a shitload. I know there's so many people. Back in the day, there would be maybe 30 guys on the game, and you'd make fucking bank. You make 75, 100K on royalties on the game. Now there's so many people on the game. You're lucky if you make, you end up making your money on when people have to buy outfits and,
different those additional purchases, in-game purchases. I think the first merch participation for workers that was a real big deal were the old action figures in the 80s when, if you were Hogan, you had the
giant
t-shirts.
Rubber ones.
Yes. If you were Hogan, you had the t-shirts, the headbands, and the posters and lunchboxes and all that stuff. Maybe the top 3 or 4 guys, but it was an opportunity for the rest of the roster to participate. And I remember Sheiky telling me his first quarterly check in like 85 was $80,000. So for these guys who had for years never really made any real money in merch, that was the tipping point.
But the trade-off was a fucking gram of Coke was fucking $110. So
exactly, yeah. So
wasn't this 60 you can get now? So
you get in the car with Hacksaw.
Keep it down.
Let's see this.
What is this?
Kevin Nash video game appearances. So, I guess going backwards, starting at WWE 2K24, 2K23, 22, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, WWE 13, WWE 12. Here Comes the Pain. And something called Shut Your Mouth. Guess that wasn't on there. And here's some other games. You participate in the profits for these as well?
Oh.
Mayhem Universe, Battlegrounds, Supercard, WWE WrestleFest, TNA Cross the Line. Kev, we could talk about the hair and that anytime. Resembling Tracy Smothers. Were you going for that?
It looked nothing like Tracy Smothers. Right?
TNA Impact, Cross the Line. NWO with Authority, WCW NWO Revenge. How many total are there? 35? What number did I see there?
30, 34? 30,
20 plus
34.
20 plus 25. Right?
Oh, so 54?
Yeah. What's that one all about for World Tour? Is that it's very small. Is that face paint? That image?
No, that was the one that that was the Diddy exclusive.
What's going on with that shot? Got a little bung on your face there. I think you went ass eating.
That Revenge one looks like that.
You're wearing the same suit. Can you bring up the Rock picture?
Was that Tron? NWO Tron.
It's very crude, and the body type. Now you look like Jimmy Snuka going as you for Halloween. Big Bosch was listening, watching, and he said Triple H has become the biggest babyface in wrestling after spending the last 20-25 years as the biggest heel in wrestling. That's how great a job he's done since he took over. People would complain that his motives for marrying Steph were exactly what had come to fruition now, except now, in the present, we are glad he's in charge. Plus, he proved himself as a booker in those fantastic NXT years. These headlines.
Yeah, that and the fact that he's an absolutely fantastic father to his three daughters. But that, I mean, that, you know, just is a byproduct of the work that he's, you know.
No, but he's putting him over, though. He's saying that while people would say that before, everyone kind of universally is happy that he's in charge now, and there's that you don't hear that kind of stuff anymore because he's proven his muster.
You know what? And I bet you every morning he wakes up and he just checks his calendar, and because you don't want to miss the first, number one, but secondly, just check the calendar to make sure that the people are still fucking on your side.
Well, Big Bosh is if he's tracking Big Bosh's sentiments.
I appreciate Bosh like putting him over, but I mean, it's just like Paul does what he does because he has passion for it.
Yeah.
I saw a really great interview with Shawn Michaels, and they were talking to him, and the guy asked him, you know, can you believe that you're still doing this? And he said, when I started this, he said, all I dreamt of was being good enough of a pro wrestler to be able to afford a shitbox car, a one-bedroom apartment, and just to be able to get from town to town in Texas. Like, that was his dream. And now he's putting his footprint and thumbprint on all the talent that's coming through that organization.
Of any of the shows out there outside of the WWE owned product, these Paul, Sean, this would be the show that they should do. The titular, they're part of the titular logo up there. They are the Kliq. I'm surprised they're not banging on our doors to do it.
Yeah, because neither one of them
is busy.
Puts in enough hours.
No, they clearly have a lot of free time. Or this should be part of the WWE product, perhaps.
I don't know. What do we have? 535 fucks, two episodes ago.
We'd have to do a little personal work on our banter.
And like I said,
but
I ain't doing it. I'm not going to pretend that it's Monday, and I'm not going to no. I'm 65 years old, man. Fuck you. If you you're not
going to do what?
Anything.
If they licensed the podcast, you wouldn't allow them to?
No, not if I have to fucking jump through a hoop, watch what I say. No, I don't. I've never lived that way. I say whatever the fuck I want to when I want to. You can kill me one time. Make sure you shoot me right in the fucking head.
When you sit down and do a Legends show, you don't let the F-bombs fly. You temper yourself for your buddy Paul.
Obviously, you didn't watch that hacked piece that they sent out that was all edited and jumpy, and that ain't me.
Because of your language?
Yeah. I can't tell it. Whatever. I would have to sit there and then I had intercourse. I can't do it.
They can get creative. Every time they have to bleep that $5 gets sent to St. Jude's by WWE or something. They could.
Oh boy, $5.
Every time. There were 500 on 2 weeks. 501 on 2 weeks ago's show.
I just sat for an hour and 53 minutes and signed 500 Topps cards before I came down here. And it's like, I told my wife how much they were paying me, and she just went, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "God bless you."
It was a good watt or a bad watt?
No, it was a good watt.
Okay.
And she said to me, "How does that make you feel?" I said, it's amazing. I said, number one, I said, the fact that I'm still a part of the card set, the fact that I'm in the Hall of Fame set, and my card is being signed. Like I have to sign my card, which makes it the fact that there's one card in there, that there's one.
A one
There's
of one.
just one of one.
Yeah.
With the gold, you know. So I mean, I just looked at that and it was just like, I never take any of that for granted. Like I saw, I was on one of those, it was some on the internet, and they had all the different figures that came out, and they had the top 10 selling figures for this one company. I don't know if it was Ringside or whoever it was, but Scott and I were the third highest selling. And Tamara saw it before I did, and she said to me, she goes, "How is that possible that CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are in front of you? Of course they should be because they're on TV, but then you guys are the next." I said, "I don't know." I said,
Wow.
you know, it's just,
Wait, was it a 2-set? You and Scott?
yeah, me and Scott were in a 2-set. That Outsider set, Ringside Collectibles. And they were the really good figures, too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought both of our... Scott's face wasn't as good as some of it. It was a good face of me, but I've seen better of Scott.
Now, you don't... They do so many figures of you. You don't have to get modeled each time, right? They just use something that's on file.
But what, like... Oh, let me think the last time we got modeled. Maybe when we went into the Hall of Fame in 2020 during the COVID, out in the parking lot in Tampa Stadium. I think there was like this trailer that me, Hulk, Scott, and Sean Waltman went out there.
You have to get in your gear? What do you wear?
No, they just need your head.
Oh, they just do the head. Same for the video games back when they
Yeah.
But would you have to bump for the
No.
animation?
No. That was the early games. I remember, I think the TNA game, I still think that they had to action, they had to do the capture on that with the fucking sensors and all that. Run on a treadmill, and
Right.
but they just get like really, like, they get a guy that's a really good worker.
And then once they have that captured,
then,
they just put your body type.
I think
over.
Jay Lethal was one of the guys they used on one of those games.
I believe that.
You know.
Fernham Schnavitz III said, "Hey, fellas, Happy New Year to you all. Thank you for year 2 of this great thing you've all created. Can't believe it's going on year 3. Wanted you to know how much I enjoy it and can't wait for 2025. Thank you, Mr. Schnavitz.
Thank you.
Thank you. A long time listener, and let's be honest, your brother's favorite listener.
My brother's favorite listener.
Kevin, I get excited when I get to talk about a new product. And what I have beside me here is just that. This is Stopbox. And if you are a weapon owner and you are looking for that sweet spot between security for your weapon and ease of use, if, God forbid, you ever have to use it, Stopbox has delivered us that. Best thing about this, Kevin, when I was exploring this extensively today, I'm gonna do a little demonstration for you here too.
Yeah, can you show them how quick you can get in that thing?
Yes, absolutely. So that's the thing. It's the system, by the way. I want to show you this here. It's this these little finger keys here, and then the thumb one there. It is. Why do you think that's great, Kev? Why do you think that's great? Where there's no keys and no code and no batteries, God forbid. If some of these go on batteries, what if the batteries have died and you can't get into it?
Well, you know when I looked at that product, and I thought to myself, like, I wonder why they came up with this system. And then if anybody has a home safe, you don't even look at the numbers on your safe. You just go. It's like you go on like it's
And
like
that's
muscle memory,
exactly
and
this.
that's
Yep.
what that is.
In the dark, you can still, once you program the finger code here, it's all by touch, which is what's amazing. If you need to get in a split second, you can. Yet you've got the security of the stop box for storage. And even under stress, I mean, if you, God forbid, you need to do something as precise, if you're nervous, you're shaking, try to get a key in, it's just your grip, it's just your hand, and you move your fingers in a certain way. It's really kind of revolutionary. They are USA engineered, and here is a real-time demonstration. I will go down here, and if you want to start the clock, and I will open this here, get my arm in the right spot here.
I'll do
I guess there's no
Mississippi's.
actual clock, but here
Ready?
you go.
I'm going to go.
I did it before you even. All right, let me lock it again. Okay.
I'll go 1, 2. I'll go 1.
Okay, ready, and go.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Two
Mississippi.
It was 2 Mississippis, right?
I have a smaller SIG at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate leaving it out when the cleaning people come. But I also don't want to put it in the safe because then it won't be next to my chair when I get home.
Right.
As is, like, when I sit down here, I have a handgun next to me, right here, and it just sits out.
But no one goes into the studio there. So, but
No.
at home,
So
yeah, well, you got cleaning people and stuff
because
coming in and out. This is the
last thing you want is to come into the studio and take a 50 cal Desert Eagle slug. But no, but at home I've got a smaller SIG, and so it's nice to have that. And then when they leave, then I just take it out and I put it in its holster and I put it on top of the box.
You guys are going to get 10% off your entire order here when you use the code KLIQ, KLIQ. And amazingly, StopBox is giving you a buy one, get one free offer for the StopBox Pro. 10% off and a free StopBox Pro when you use the code KLIQ KLIQ at StopBoxUSA.com. StopBoxUSA.com. Made in their own facility in the U.S. That's job creation. And you know what? This is I couldn't believe this. This is TSA compliant for travel. If you are someone who is allowed to securely and conveniently transport your firearm through checked baggage for online travel. They offer actually a range of other innovative products. They have a vehicle safe, a chamber lock, a lot of other essential gear to keep you prepared and protected, and that's really the key. You want both, and the revolutionary StopBox gives you that peace of mind that it's safe, it's secure, but it's accessible in 2 Mississippis, as I just showed you. So for a limited time, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say that I'm reading can you put the ad back up, please?
The graphic we just
had. That had. If you read, it says fits up to a Desert Eagle and spare magazine underneath on the left hand side. Mm-hmm. So what I have here is a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. You can see with the size of that. Mm-hmm. This is like next to my head. Like that's that's a handgun, and then this is the clip that comes with it. So these fit in that box.
Right.
And this is the biggest handgun. There's not a bigger handgun than a 50 cal Desert Eagle.
You guys are going to get that crazy deal. Not only do you get the 10% off your entire order, but if you use the code KLIQ, KLIQ at StopBox USA, they're going to give you that buy one, get one free deal for another StopBox Pro. 10% off and a free StopBox Pro when you use the code KLIQ at StopBoxUSA.com. Discover a better way to balance security and readiness with StopBox. Thank you, StopBox, for spending some time with us.
Yes.
And and you can spend time with us there at home if you go to KlikThisTV.com and join the 11 Soft Club. You can be part of the live audience that watches us here. Britt Kev is saying that she loves you. Keep that shit on you. Stay dangerous.
What do I'm
It's a
sorry.
crazy world out there.
No, but I mean, if it was in the master here, and somebody, well, you'd have to. I've got a lanai you'd have to come through, and then I've got.
Yeah, there's 2 entries right there.
Well, there's you've got to go through a steel door that's got a deadbolt that just is on the inside. So,
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, though, the beauty of having a Desert Eagle is because I've got hurricane shutters, but I've got cameras outside the hurricane shutter. So if you're standing outside the hurricane shutter, I can shoot through it with that Desert Eagle. And it'll go right through the person.
Van Boglin, what do you have there? A 40 cal Springfield on his desk right now, David Van Boglin. Do you have the stop box, David? Because you can go to stopboxusa.com and get it. Get that buy one, get one free. Give it to a loved one. If you don't have 2 that you can use it for.
I had kids or anything around. I don't even have kids in my house. But when my nephew comes over, I put the firearms and I put them in the safe.
Yep. Stay dangerous, kid. That was
the AR-15 though. There is an AR-15 that's somewhere in my house. It's giraffe, so I
David
can reach.
just ordered it. Great.
I can
David. Send us some video of you using it.
I can reach and grab the AR-15, but nobody else can. That's one thing that's great about being my height. Unless Sean Kemp comes in my house, and because
I was going to say you don't have Matumbo coming over for tea next week.
if you have that, people don't understand like what a great storage area above your kitchen cabinets is, because you've got the crown that like the lip of the molding,
Yeah.
and then it just sits right there. So
Don't tell everyone that.
huh?
Don't tell everyone that.
Shit doesn't matter. I got to walk around the house. I got a shoulder harness on. I'm like, I'm not, you have to shoot me in my sleep.
You know, we were talking about Paul before and his booking and the direction of the company and the fact that this is the one show that he probably would do. He and family were at Mar-a-Lago to ring in 2025. I was shocked, but not shocked to see. Well, you expect Linda, right? Linda, Vince, but I guess, you got to show solidarity, and the whole family has to go down there.
Well, that's Stephanie's mom.
Yeah.
She's in the cabinet.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. You got to show the family support. You talk politics with Paul at all?
No. But you know what? I might go ahead and see if I can't use a little stroke and see if I can't sit down and talk to the president.
Do you have a few requests for
I
the White House?
I mean, if he's listening to Musk, fuck, he might as well listen to me. I've got a couple ideas on some things. Little SEAL Team Red, little counterterrorism groups, and little reverse engineering some shit. And
I think that he wouldn't be the guy to talk to about that. Maybe anything. Maybe his cabinet.
Well, I should probably talk to Hexeth. Fuck.
How's he doing?
Huh?
How's he doing these days?
Did you see him the other day? He had like American flag socks on, American flag tie, American flag pen. I'm like, dude, we get it. You're trying to You're trying to be a part of the cabinet. Nobody's thinking you're a Soviet spy.
Yeah, really. So, what I think I asked you this before, what cabinet position, because I think you touch a lot of areas that you could, if you so chose to. I know you don't want to do that. You don't want to work. It's another job. I get it. But
No,
if you so desired, there are a lot of areas. You've got the defense thing, obviously. I think you'd be good in finance.
I would want to be a consultant for like the border czar.
Really?
Yeah.
This is shocking to me. What would you propose?
Hey, I got an idea. How about we go and instead of just mass deportation, how about if we go in and just look for sleeper cells of like Syrians that I saw on the CNN special, and maybe Chinese groups, like
Right.
groups that are probably paramilitary that are in our country, because I really don't think that somebody that's putting in a 16-hour day in the field is really our problem. But man, I really, there's a lot. Like, how about the fuck stick from Where was he from? That he just set the woman on fire on the subway.
In New York. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on it. He was on
Venezuela?
I think he was from Guatemala. But it's like he was on a watch. They got him. They let him go.
But he was deported once before.
Yeah, but he's obviously. Yeah, it's like.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be more than the deportations.
Maybe you chop off one of their hands. It makes them a lot easier to find the next time they come in.
The pinky,
hand.
Yakuza, the hand,
Fuck
whole
that
hand.
shit.
Like do the Iran thing.
We can get the flock of seagulls to sing that.
I was hoping for a few bars. I guess I'm not going to get it.
And I ran so far away, I can't get away.
The touch of German really made it interesting for the British.
Well, that's what I saw in Germany, so I was getting that whole German vibe.
It's been a screwy week between the fire, the homeless, the fire of the homeless woman, the murder of the homeless woman, the New Orleans,
somebody else
the car pushed in front of a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a day before, day after. A lot of crazy shit going on up here. And then you've got the car attack in it was Guatemala, by the way. Mr. Zepeda was from Guatemala. The car in New Orleans, which led us to some discussion about the BOLLARDs, word of the day.
Well, that was so. I watched the press conference. Number one, I got to kind of give a little bit of kudos to the woman that's the attorney general down there in Louisiana and the governor. They're kind of pretty much no nonsense motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
The attorney general lady said, by the way, I just want you people to know before you decide to pull this shit again that we do have the death penalty. I kind of thought that was a nice touch. But so I do my research and I send you a advertising that I find on Instagram, and it's the guy that was driving the truck, and it's him selling real estate in Houston. Like guy next door kind of shit. And so then I go back on the news, and Fox is telling me that he had an ISIS flag, and I'm like, this is feeling very Hinckley Jodie Foster to me. Like, I don't see him. Oh, he was with three other operatives, and we're gonna, they're raiding his home in Houston, and it's like 3, 4, 5 hours of nothing, and then all of a sudden, like I go to a couple of my sources that aren't bullshit. Let me just see if I can drag your ass on and watch this TV program all day. And it's like they've already like said that there's no correlation between anything. He's a lone wolf. And then you got the guy with the Tesla in front of Trump Tower.
Detonated in Vegas in front of
Yeah.
Trump
And
building.
it's just like, and I'm not using these guys' names because I'm not putting them over in any form or fashion.
Right.
So it's just, number one, if you buy the Tesla truck, right there, you're on my watch list.
Was it rentals? Does that count for rentals too? Or
Yes.
If you're in the cabinet, the watch list is...
Because do you remember when Pontiac, Steve, this is going to be one for you. I'm going to give you some time. Pontiac made a vehicle called the Aztec. I want you to look up the Pontiac Aztec so we can get that down. So my buddy Ross Foreman, I used to travel with, if he beat me to the town, he'd get one of these fucking Aztecs. And they were god awful. They were horrible. Oof.
What year are we talking?
Oh,
It looks fairly modern.
yeah, you got to find like let's see a 96 Aztec. Because they had the thing where like the back had like a pop out like camper. Go 96 Aztec. And but when the first time I saw that Cyber truck, I was just like, holy fuck. Like this is brutal. But he just went to like Fathom Fireworks and got like a shitload of fireworks like the idiots down here do. And but I think he shot himself in the head on top of that. There we go. Now that's a vehicle.
That looks like a car gone wrong is what that's. See, the ones you just showed me didn't look bad. It looked kind of a modern, rugged, all-terrain vehicle.
I think that those were
this looks like a car is growing out of a car at the top.
Yeah, these things were so ugly.
That's pretty, yeah, they've done much better.
But these are mocks of things that are coming back. If you were to look up Volkswagen Beetle convertible, it's on like a Porsche frame now, and it's all wide-bodied. And you'd be like, "Oh, is that coming back?" No, it ain't coming back.
Oh, what? So it's just a prototype?
There it is. That's the back end you cry for right there. What the fuck?
So why did he always get this car?
To fuck with me.
And you'd be forced to ride in it.
Yeah.
How did it handle? Yeah, it may be unattractive, but it might be might be a
look
good
at that
suspension
thing.
system underneath.
It had like 14-inch fucking wheels on it.
I know, that's the thing, is that looks really strange.
Oh,
it's this big
God,
jacked up
man.
tall body and then regular. It appears to be regular vehicle tires.
And those pictures do it no justice.
The horror of it needs to be experienced in person.
The only thing that
like
could
Carry
beat that
On.
if you could have the movie Carry On and Trapped playing simultaneously while you drove that thing.
Hey, Ric Flair thinks he might have another match in him.
God bless him.
I was reading this. He was on a podcast recently, and he was asked if he could still compete in a match, and his response was, "Hell yeah, I do." Saying that he does think he could compete in a match. That's a far cry from wanting to do it, and I think for pride, wouldn't you always have to say, "Hell yeah, I could compete in a match"? Kev, could you still compete in a match?
Fuck no.
So glad you did that. Exactly that way.
Nor would I have. It's like when people say, "Hey, do you still do anything appearance-wise?" I'm like, "What do you got in mind?" Well, I was thinking maybe commissioner. No, I said I could be commissioner on a Zoom call. Like I won't go someplace and get in the ring and cut a promo.
Okay, how about this though? So you do get paid for appearances anyway. So to get on a plane to go somewhere, You
Right.
don't have to do signings. You don't have to do an appearance. But you, backstage the whole time, you watch an operation, almost like when a business brings in a consultant. You watch an evening of a taping. Not a big, one of the smaller federations. And as a consultant, for whatever you would be paid for the signing appearance, you watch the product, you give the bookers, company owners, your take on what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right.
I'll give whoever's paying me. I'm not going to talk to the bookers. I'm not going to.
The owner, the owner.
They'll talk. Yeah.
And tell him,
because that's 90% of the problem is going to probably be the bookers, and I definitely don't need them being told how shitty they are.
Right. Okay. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So we had a series at Kayfabe called Raven's Wrestler Rescue, where he would watch a talent in a federation and then take the kid. He wasn't able to get over, do a makeover, change how he looks, his promos, his moves, and then send him back out there to see if I thought this was a great makeover show for wrestling. The rest of the world didn't. But I could see something like this, where you're sitting at the monitor, like the first part of the show, we show the product, we show who the people working at the top of the card are. Then Kev comes in and he sits in the conference room alone without the owner, so that your unfettered opinion as you watch the monitor and you watch the whole
but
night.
the problem is you have to be a part of the whole process. You can't. There are so many times that I would lay something out and I would sit at the monitor and I'd be like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? That's not what we talked about. And it's like, so it's, it's almost like what used to be called when you were a kid, phone call or whatever it was. Like you say something and the next
telephone,
person,
the game of telephone.
Yeah, telephone. So it's like, it's almost like that. Like you have to be a part of the whole process to see where the disconnect is.
Gotcha.
Because creative can be fantastic. They can give it to the producer. The producer can be the drizzling shits, as far as, not that he doesn't understand work-wise, he just doesn't. There's so many times in our business where people are afraid to say, I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to, why are we doing that? Because they'll just go like, okay. And then when the guy walks out of the room, look at the other guy and go, we'll just do what we want to do.
Whereas they should probably just say, can you dial me in here a little?
Yeah, like why are we doing it that way? Don't you think this would be a better? And then they'll say, well, it's not my call. It's so and so's call above me. I'm just the messenger. And you go, okay, fine. And then you go find them and you say, hey, what do you think about doing this instead of that? And if they say no, you go, okay, fine. Then you do it their way, and if it blows, then you get to walk by them and go like this.
Right. So maybe then you're there for the whole day. You're sitting in on the production meeting.
That's a long day, boy.
That's a long day.
Yeah, that's a long day. They better have some. They better have some cash.
Have some cash and some good catering. Yeah.
Yeah.
And take care of you. Kliq This Indy Rescue. See, yeah. I think it works.
Yeah, well, most any shows can't afford me.
One of those mid-level.
I make sure of it. No, you misunderstood me. I said 50,000. No, we can do that. No, 50 plus. Like
Yeah, you get like that guy from Bar Rescue, John Taffer.
Yeah.
Who would throw fits on the bar owners and stuff. We need to get some of your Nash your Nash moments is what would really sell the show. I think you just sitting with your feet up in the conference room wouldn't work. I think you'd have to get you in your salty best. Methinks.
But I'm so out of touch to what they're doing now.
But don't the basics stay the same? That one guy needs heat, one guy needs to be over.
I've said
keep the fans.
I've said for a million years that I'll go to an indie show. Two guys will walk up to me and say, "Will you watch my match?" I'll say, "Absolutely." So I watch the match, and I come back and say, "What do you think?" I say, "What story were you telling me? Tell me what story you were trying to tell me." They're like, "What? What was the story? What were you trying to tell me?" "What do you mean?" "Well, is it David and Goliath? Is it you guys are lovers? Is it you're fighting over a girl? Like, what's the story?" "Oh, no, we just went out there and done a bunch of high spots." "Okay, I thought so. It fucking sucked." I say, especially like the part where you got on your knees and headbutted each other while you bled like... Why I was thinking I was watching Saw 7.
Knew that would get worked in somehow.
Ugh.
Kevin, today's Florida Man and Jersey Guy is brought to everyone by Mando. It's a new year. It could be a new you, you know. When we talk about I love all the Mando products.
Dude,
can I just say I love the Mando products.
That spray right there.
Money, right?
When you got the bad shoulder and you can't get it wet for a couple of days, and you pick your blanket up off your crotch region while you're watching TV, and you get this, you're looking underneath.
You get reminded that you need man.
You're looking for a dead possum, and you're like, "Babe, could you please go out in my car?" And right underneath the front seat, there's a canister of Mando. Like, oh.
Not that this has ever happened, obviously.
No, not like 2 weeks ago.
And the reason this is a fact is because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower and soap alone. 12 hours after an average after a shower. Can I expand my goddamn screen here for a minute? 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was a level 5 out of 10 with Mando. Average grundle odor 0 out of 10. It is baking soda free, paraben free, so you don't have to worry about what you're putting on your body. Great scents, bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and all of the different iterations of the product. The cream, the stick, the spray that I'm holding, the wipes, and this great rounded top here. You can go right underneath. You get as much of the spray upside down as you would right side up. You obviously know why I'm saying that. And it is a very soft mist, Kevin, which is
it's kind of like Off. Remember Off
the
for
repellent?
bugs? Yeah, it kind of has that where it doesn't blast you.
Yeah.
It's not like Right Guard where you shoot it and it's it's like you feel like you need to press charges.
Right. It's like being hit with a goddamn fire hose.
Yeah,
this is soft and it floats
through
the air and lays gingerly on your testicles.
If I may say so, it definitely knocks the funk out.
It sure does. And guys, the Mando starter pack is perfect for you if you're a new customer, okay? It comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping as a special deal for offers. Special offer for listeners. New customers are getting $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. This is one of my favorite products we advertise. I love it. I use it every day. And there is that. Tripping over my tongue. Kev, I saw you were online this morning when I saw your video. I had just awoken and was in the bathroom at 5:30, and it said that you were on. So I sent you my reply at that time.
I was on my phone?
Yeah, it said you were active on Instagram. So
at 5:30?
Yeah. I figured you hadn't gone to sleep yet.
No, I watched. God, it's on Netflix. It's some guy. He's worth like maybe $400 million, something like that. But he spends $2 million a year, and he's like trying to it's a longevity thing.
What's he doing?
Oh, you name it, man. This guy does everything. It was actually kind of interesting. I fell asleep watching it.
Did he mention the bovine colostrum?
No.
By any chance? Okay. What's it called? That sounds interesting, actually. I like little oddball shows like that.
I think it was.
Oh, the Blue. Was it the Blue Zone where he talks about where people in the world have longer life? Okay, I did see that.
This is just a guy.
Okay.
And it's like something dies. I don't refuse to die. I don't want to die, or something like that. It's like a documentary thing.
I will look at it.
It's like an hour and 38 minutes long. I fell asleep. But he got his son.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Die. That's the name of it.
Don't
He
Die.
got his son to. They were all they were Mormons. His father was a Mormon, and they all kind of went their way. He ended up getting divorced, and the wife took the kids, and because he wasn't a Mormon any longer, they weren't allowed to be a part of his life. And then the oldest son came to him to live his senior year and got away from the church. And then he said, hey, you want to do this with me? So they did it together. Then they started doing this plasma, where they would transfer plasma. So the son would transfer plasma to the father, and then the father would transfer plasma to his father. So they were kind of. It was interesting, but they all kind of modalities, and they were going to.
There he is.
Yeah, they were going to. God, it was like by Belize or someplace like that, and there was this a zone where they could do and it was that colostrum, not colostrum, the it's that homocysteine that where they you see those pictures of those jacked up bulls and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's homocysteine. But anyway, they block that, and it does all kind of things like regulates your blood sugar. But all these things are pretty well documented with rats and mice, but not with humans. So even though he's doing these tests on himself, and they've said he's trimmed, like he's taken or added, he's taken off like 5 to 7 years of age off of his body, off his organs. But like your heart and your liver and your lungs and your kidneys all age at different levels. Like, like your entire body doesn't age at the same. So he's vegan. He eats 2,000 calories a day, and he's starving as a vegan. And the guy's looks like maybe might weigh like $160.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting. I
wanted
to
quality of life starts to become. I mean, if you're working that hard, you're gonna spend the rest of your life.
Well, that was the whole thing with it.
Doing?
They had like different people that were talking about it. They were just saying like he gets up at like one of the things he was saying that's critical to longevity was that your body absolutely loves consistency. So he would get, he'd go to bed at 9:30 and get up at 4:30, and that was like 9.5 hours of sleep and like all these things. But it was just like the one lady, I don't know if it may have been on they were talking to the woman on The View, and she was just like, fuck, like your whole life is just
the pursuit of this.
Yeah, like you don't
you're not
actually
living.
live.
Yeah.
Right. There's no living. There's just.
I am one of the women on The View at this point. I agree.
Yeah. Well, and I agree too. I mean, it's just.
Would you be Joy Behar or Whoopi Goldberg? Or like the token Republican chick that always gets thrown on there?
You know what? I haven't watched that show in probably. I mean, I can't even remember last time I watched that show. So I don't know anything about any of those people. I don't know anything about their beliefs. I wouldn't.
Just listening when it's on, it's maddening to listen to sometimes. If it's in my sphere, if I'm in a doctor's office and they're talking over each other pretty consistently, it's pretty tough to watch, I think. But we were in the middle of we were about to do a Florida man Jersey guy, Kevin. I'm going to read you two headlines, two actual headlines, one a Jersey guy, one a Florida man, and Kevin will just which impresses him as the actions of a Jersey guy or a Florida man. First headline: man accused of fatally shooting dad and wounding mom for riding him to get a job. Second headline: stunned cops arrest man for calling 911 17 times with bizarre request to shuttle him to Wawa. Man accused of fatally shooting dad, wounding mom for riding him to get a job. Stunned cops arrest man for calling 911 17 times with bizarre request to shuttle him to Wawa.
See, I know we have Wawas down here. I don't know if there's a Wawa in New Jersey.
I think Wawas are pretty well covered along the eastern seaboard.
Okay.
That would have been too easy a clue if I picked like a Buc-ee's or some shit like that. Can you go into Buc-ee's over there on LPGA Boulevard one day? Just let someone just film you walking through Buc-ee's, looking at your surroundings.
No.
Any commentary on what you see would be appreciated.
I'd do it like Andrew Dice Clay does.
Are his Instagrams the best?
Are you you're Clyde, right?
A big shot with the hat.
Clyde, no, you look like one of the Dons.
You want a picture with the face? With the face? The famous face?
Oh, I'll say that the shooter's the Florida guy.
Correct. The Florida man did not want to get a job and sought to kill his parents because they wanted him to. That is Joseph Voigt, 23 years old. Looks like actually a little bit like he's doing the Don't Die diet.
Right, I think he's actually Macaulay Culkin.
And next to Whoopi Goldberg. We're covering all the bases here.
Nice.
He appeared in a Polk County courtroom Monday after being accused of fatally shooting his father and critically wounding his mother over the weekend during a household argument about work. He just does not want a damn job. And then our other friend at, actually, a 24-year-old man arrested in East Windsor, New Jersey on December 23rd, calling 911 a total of 17 times with a bizarre request. He was charged with misusing the 911 system. Instead of taking an Uber, Vaughn allegedly wanted the police to personally shuttle him back and forth to the nearest convenience store, Wawa.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. I just don't call. Maybe that's the problem. We're back with Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. Hashtag AskNash is how you can get your question answered by Kevin on the show, or join the 11 Soft Club by going to KliqThisTV.com and signing up and being part of our live audience here, like some of the folks you'll see in a minute. Fernham Schnavitz III, his second appearance today, has a question. He said, Kev, out of all the boys you worked with over your career, who would you credit as the one who helped you most or was most important to your success?
Yeah, it's not just one. I would think that Scott and Sean were probably the most instrumental because as I was the Diesel character and was the bodyguard outside, and then it was backstage every night, and then in the car with it was just the three. At that time, it was just the three of us traveling. That I just basically watched, the entire process. How you talked about the match in the car, how you went into the building, changed the things, how you went to the ring, worked the match, came back, then, tweaked, took out, so it was just, definitely from a psychology work, like the whole, just to learn the proper way to do the process.
Which gets me to the P's question. He says, just rewatched WrestleMania 10 ladder match. Great ring psychology by both Razor and HBK. How much of that was Scott and Sean knowing each other so well? And why only one ladder? Happy New Year to you both.
Well, because there was one ladder, because the story was Sean was stripped of the IC championship because he lost a smile or whatever it was. I forget what he got suspended. He got suspended for some idiot put Winstrol in his beer, so he actually got suspended. So when he got suspended, that's when I started working. I took his spots, and when he came back, Scott had won a tournament, and it was like belt against belt. So they had a ladder match, but the ladder wasn't the psychology of the match. The ladder was a prop.
Just to get to the belt.
The psychology was, I don't know of many ladder matches that have more than one ladder, that have more than two combatants.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those table ladders, chairs, and all that, we had, 3 tag teams with, 6, 4 ladders or whatever. And then that was just more of a spot fest.
Right.
And to see what you could do than it was to tell a story.
And the simple answer, why one ladder? Because it's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
If you do it right.
And then to me, the psychology of the second one was even more so. SummerSlam was because Vince said you can't use the ladder as a weapon.
Right. And how about to the question of was the success of the match, and it's credited as being one of the greats because the ring psychology was so solid, because Sean and Scott knew each other so well.
Yeah, but I think everybody in that, I don't think that at that point in their career they had touched as many times as Steamboat and Flair had, or Steamboat and Flair and Sting. I think all great rivalries. Guys are gonna know each other.
Mm-hmm. But they spent so much time out of the ring together too, and kind of
that was
being of a similar mindset.
Yeah, that was the whole Kliq though. That was.
Mm-hmm.
We went up and down the road. We never talked anything but business.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about the business all the time.
Britt, what were you going to say? I remember Scott saying in the Kliq documentary, it was only one ladder. Though there was only one ladder in the building. Well, certainly prevent you from using more. But I think back then the ladder matches were one ladder. Adam Cross, I know you aren't drinking these days, but could you recommend some decent cabs that won't break the bank?
I mean, I don't know what break the bank is.
Well, could you get a decent bottle for under 50? Let's call that.
Oh,
Let's,
God,
let's
yeah.
say that.
But I'm just not even, like, my mind isn't even there.
Let's see. What do we have here? Well,
I
stop me when you see a company.
I wouldn't drink either of those. Wouldn't drink either of those. We need to go up.
You need to sort from
We need to
50
go-
down, perhaps, if there's a way to do that.
How much would go up? What was that fourth bottle? Was there one more bottle? Yeah, it's garbage.
How about, because if you sort by price,
Let's go
and put
under 50. 90-point cabs under 50.
Oh, you put under 20. Yeah, put under 50, Steve, if you're able to do it. And we'll circle back to it. We'll see if we can get you one, Adam. How about the live audience? We have plenty of people here waiting to ask a question. Let's see what the hell's on someone's mind. Jamie Joshua, have you seen the movie Gridlocked with Tupac and Jim Belushi? Good-ass movie.
I've seen it, don't remember it.
Okay. We have to look for that tonight, perhaps. After your next episode of Don't Die. Kevin Gilbald, Nash, can't wait to see you at Astronomicon this year in Ann Arbor. Britt Baker is going, and David Howard Thornton.
Cool.
When is that?
What's in April? Maybe
Dan
8th?
Updike. Kev, did Megacon ever reach out to your management team? We had about a dozen people that I know of, including me, request you through their website. Hope to see a Super Bowl Saturday.
Nobody reached
No one
reached
from
out to me?
Megacon. Well, Dan, you got to ask. You got to demand louder. And we'll
Dan,
see what happens.
give me the people that that run it. Just give me the information, and I'll. Is it the Saturday before the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl Saturday. I guess it's the day before.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Yeah, that would be less than a month, right?
Yeah,
Or a month. It would be
I'm not
about a month.
ready.
Let's see. Courtney C.B. Blackman. What was the reaction in the back when Triple H said, Kev, both of our careers took off when we left him, HBK? Was this a shoot?
I don't remember it. I don't know. I don't remember the reference to when that was said.
Would it be accurate if it was said as a shoot by Paul?
I mean, he didn't leave me and I became champion, so, and I didn't leave him and I became champion. I mean, we fought each other at WrestleMania, so.
But you eventually go to WCW and kind of
that was more,
Paul.
you know, stars aligning.
But then Paul with DX.
Yeah.
When you first came back from injury in 2003, Courtney's clarifying.
So it was on the show. It was on Raw.
No, we'll get it.
Because we had that. Because that kind of was the deal. I think Paul ended up turning on me, and then we went and had that run, Hell in the Cell and all that.
Let me get another question while we wait. Angela. Oh, go ahead. You want one from the house? Bring one from the house. Could Flair work as a third man with the angle? I met these guys up north and we planned this back then. Flair takes off the suits, starts wearing jeans like the Kliq, and dye his hair black. I'm going to say no, that wouldn't work.
No.
Angela G. Sams, sorry. Would you ever think about a guest appearance on Gutfeld on Fox? I know you're friends with Tess, and lately he has had Kane, Undertaker, Dunley, and Chris Jericho.
I mean, I would do it. I'm just not doing anything until I'm healthy.
But you wouldn't be averse to doing it when you're
No,
back doing some travel?
I'm not some crazy left-wing nut job.
You are not.
No.
I'd like to remind everyone that Klig This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2025, I can say for the first time. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, want to do another one?
Yeah, let's do another one on a Monday.
Let us free to fade away into eternity. Circle H, you've come to love me, but now I'm frozen in dead flesh. Oh, Sophie, knew all along it was a trick, but the customer service never answers the thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. The twists and turns, you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never